Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it's snowing a lot. It's currently minus 25 degrees, but I have decided to get out here and see how it feels like. Basically, if you're living here in Canada, you have to get used to the cold. And I decided to make a video about how to rent houses for new immigrants, especially when they're moving to Canada. So let's get started. First of all, I wanted to talk about the types of rental houses which are available for new immigrants to rent. So you can rent a bachelor studio, you can rent a one-bedroom apartment, two-bedroom apartment, and it goes up as the number of family members you have in your house. There is also a walk-in basement and a walkout basement. So I'm going to be explaining you what they are basically. So for a bachelor studio, it's mainly for single applicants who are coming here in Calgary, Canada, and it's just a living room and a bedroom all joined in one space, and it's really small. And it's perfect for a single person if you're coming by yourself, and it's also cheaper. It ranges between $700 to $750. Then we move on to one bedroom apartments, which range from $900 to $1,000, $1,050, $1,100, depending on where you want to rent your apartment and what sort of lavishness you're looking for. So if you are looking for furnished apartments, they obviously cost more than unfurnished apartments. So a furnished apartment will cost about $1,100 to $1,200. And we got an unfurnished apartment when we moved in, basically because it was cheaper. It was $1,025 back then, and it was a really big house, and we decided that we didn't need everything in our house and we would just buy things whenever we need them. And the good part about renting an unfurnished apartment is you can always carry the furnitures to your next house, so you won't be requiring to buy those furnitures again. Basements over here, they start from $700 to $800. You can get a really good basement over here for that range, but most people over here don't prefer basements just because it gets really cold in Canada and in Calgary, especially as you can see that it's snowing today and it's actually really cold. I have a million layers on me right now, and that's the only reason why I am able to withstand this weather. But because in basement, even though if you have the heating system included in the rent, it's still not the best because it tends to get colder. So most families, when they move into Calgary, they always look for a one-bedroom apartment to rent. There are two types of basements in Calgary and in Canada: a walk-in basement and a walkout basement. So a walk-in basement is one where it is entered through the main gate, so you are going to enter through the original gate and you will have to bypass the landlord or whoever is staying in the house and then go to the basement below. And a walkout basement is a completely separate entrance where you don't need to bypass anyone and you have your own personal privacy, so you can enter by yourself and not disturb anybody else. Now let's talk about renting with corporations and renting with landlords. Now when you are coming to Canada, there are pros and cons with renting with both corporation and landlords. When you're renting with landlords, the houses or apartments are bigger than corporation, so you do have a lot of space when you're moving in. But the biggest disadvantage is landlords may come into your house without any notice, and they can just barge in at any time they want just because they own that apartment. And also, if you needed anything fixed in your house, let's say if the toilet sink was leaking or the kitchen stove was not working or the fridges are not working, the landlord takes ages to come and actually fix these because the landlord is the one who will be fixing those. If you're with a corporation, they are bound to come and fix it quickly. So let's say if you had a problem with your toilet sink or your kitchen stove and you give a call in the customer service, they reply promptly and they will be fixing the problem within that day or the next day at the latest, and you don't have to worry about anything related to your house problems, and it gets fixed promptly. And they will always be replying to you quickly and you will get efficient customer service. So for that reason, I think it's best to rent with a corporation, as you have all those facilities. And even when you are having an apartment by yourself, like let's say it's snowing right now and you can see all this snow lying around, you don't need to shovel it at all if you're with a corporation, because they have people from their company who will come and get this shoveled, so you don't even have to worry about shoveling all these places. And that's really good if it's your first year moving in Canada, because shoveling takes a lot of time and energy, and it can even make you sick, especially in this weather and if you're not used to it. But if you are renting with a landlord, you do need to shovel your entire backyard and your front yard if it's joined with the road, because it's a crime if you don't shovel it within 24 hours of it snowing. And if anybody falls in that specific place where you're staying in, then you will be liable for their fall and you can be charged with fine or things like that from the city. So for that reason alone, I think that renting with a corporation is better, and why you should be renting with them. Now, a few things you need to keep in mind when you are renting an apartment, especially if you are a new immigrant. So rentals mostly start from the 1st of every month here in Canada, and few of them start from the 15th of every month. So when you are coming to Canada, you should make sure to come at least 4 weeks before you're moving into a new place. Why I'm saying 4 weeks is because now there is a mandatory quarantine for 2 weeks, so you have to have an Airbnb booked or a hotel booked where you can quarantine for 2 weeks, and then maybe you can book like 7 to 8 days extra in that Airbnb or hotel, so that you can get out and have ample time to look around rental properties and rent easily, so you can be moving in from the 1st of the next month. Some of the corporations, they provide early move-in, so they provide move-in after the 17th or 18th of the previous month. So let's say if you wanted to rent a property from 1st of March, you can actually start an early move-in with a lot of companies from the 18th of February to 21st of February. So some of the companies provide after 20th, some of them provide from the 17th or 18th, depending from corporations to corporations, and that's a really good thing. And since you're a new immigrant and you don't have a job offer lined up, they do ask for a few documents, one of them being the bank statement. So you do have to open a bank account first and have a bank statement showing that you have rent for at least 4 to 5 months, so that they do see that you have ample money to provide rent for the first few months. And you also need to give them a security deposit. So it varies from places to places. Ours took $350, and if you like a place, they will give you 24 hours to decide if you want the place or not. If you do like it, in 24 hours you have to pay the security deposit, and whatever the deposit is. For corporations, it's lower than landlords. For landlords, they usually take 1 whole month's rent as deposit from before. So let's say if the rent was $1,100, then the landlord would be taking an $1,100 deposit before you moved in. But for corporations, it varies from $300 to $500 depending on where you move. And also you need to keep in mind that you do have to set up your electricity, because a lot of the rentals, they provide heat and water with the rent, but electricity is not provided. They'll give you instructions in how to set up the electricity. You basically have to call in to this company called Inmax, and they will provide you the steps in how to set up your electricity before you move in. You also have to sign a contract of a 12-month lease, where you are agreeing for them to take the money out from your account 1st of every month. And after the 12-month ends, you can either go month by month basis, depending from companies to companies, or you can sign a 6-month lease or a 1-year lease again. But for the first year, you do need to sign a 12-month lease, especially for new immigrants. And these are basically the documents you need. So you need the bank statement, you do need your COPR copy, because they do need to see that you are a PR, and most of us don't get our PR cards mailed until at least 1 month after we come to Canada. So they do want to see your landing papers, your passport, your bank statement, and you do need to pay a security deposit before you move in. And when you're moving in, they do ask you to make a bank order for the next month and give it to them before you move in, so that you are confirming that you already gave 1 month's bank order, and then the remaining months they will be taking the money out directly from your account without you having to worry about it. But they will be taking the money out first of every month, and it's pre-authorized debit payments, so it will be directly debited from your bank account on the first of every month. Now it's getting way too cold, so we are going to go home now, and I am going to show you how to search for apartments in kijiji.ca. So let's go home. Just came back home, grabbed a cup of coffee, and now I'm going to show you how to search for an apartment in Kijiji. Once you have your browser up, go to kijiji.ca, click on real estate, for rent, long-term rentals, and once you go to long-term rentals, add filter, and from here you can choose your specifications. So first off, for location, choose the location where you want to take your apartment in. Since I live in Calgary, Alberta, I chose my location for Calgary, Alberta. And then set your price range. I think you can get a decent apartment here with $1,100. Then when you scroll down a little bit below, you can see unit type. So I chose my unit type as apartment. You can choose how many bedrooms you want. I chose for 1 bedroom. You can choose for how many bathrooms you want. I chose for 1 bathroom. For utilities, I have no preference. So I set that for no preferences, but if you guys want to set your preferences in, you can do that. For parking, since we don't have a car right now, I put no preference over there as well. And just define your search based on the things you want to add in your filter. If you want furnished apartment, you can put that in. I put as no preferences. And if you wanted to narrow it down even further, you can go to amenities, select what else you want over there, accessibility, and also in more filters you can choose the apartment size and the type of apartment that you want. Once you have all that in, you can click apply the filter, and you will be taken to a new page where they'll show you the results. Based on my filters right now, it's showing a lot of apartments are available to rent here in Calgary, and that's actually a really good news because you do have a lot of options. So let's look at our options. We see 1 bedroom in Sunnyside that is located near downtown. And then we see price lowered, 7 minutes to downtown, and that costs only about $850. And then we see price lowered near to downtown, which takes only 7 minutes to go to downtown, and the price is set to $750. And if you scroll down a little bit below, you will see more options. And I can see a lot of downtown apartments which came up on my search list since I was pretty flexible. Now we are going to look at this particular flat which is located in Bankview, where the rent starts from March 1st and it's showing about $850. So once we click on this, now Bankview is located just outside downtown, and it's pretty close to downtown, and it's known as the residential area of downtown. So if you wanted to rent a flat which is close to downtown, Bankview would be a good spot to rent your flat in. And now let's look at the utilities. We do see that hydro is excluded, but heat and water is included. Wi-Fi is not included, so you do have to get that. Parking is included, and we also do see that the size of the apartment is 575 square feet, which is pretty good for 1 bedroom apartment. And the most important thing when you're renting these apartments is to read what's written in the description. So when I click on the description, I do see that they are saying that it's a 12-month contract. So you have this apartment for 1-year lease, and the security deposit over here is $925. It's also saying that you pay $850 for the first 10 months, but for the last 2 months you will pay $925. So you do have to read the fine print and that's included in the description before you proceed and give them a call. And you can also see how many people visited this page. So around 18 people already saw this advertisement and may have contacted them already. And that's how you search apartments in kijiji.ca. I hope this was easy for you guys to know how to rent a house, and it was useful for you, so when you are coming here in Canada, you know exactly how to search for a house, and you know what documents you might require and what to put in your searches when you are looking for an apartment online before going for viewing. If you have liked my video today, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new. Share it with your friends who are coming to Canada as new immigrants, or even coming to Canada as first-timers for work visas or as a student and need places to live. I hope this video will be useful for them as well. Hope to see you guys in my next video real soon. Till then, take care. Bye.